Hi, I'm Pam,
I'm Barry.
and this is The Mixed Review, where we do movie commentaries and mix in social issues. Our next movie was Selfless.
In Selfless, we have an older gentleman dying of cancer who's also super wealthy, and he buys into this scientific program where he can transfer his soul and personality into a younger body to relive his life. One caveat is that he cannot interact with anybody from his previous life.
So, this movie stars Ben Kingsley and Ryan Reynolds, and we see what secret twist happens in this film. There are a lot of plot twists, and there's a lot of emotion, and it's really well done. So, let's start with the plot.
Okay, go for
Okay, the plot was amazing. It
it.
was well thought. It was well thought out. I mean, the trailer. I didn't see a trailer for this film. I actually found it online. I didn't see it on TV or anything. So I thought it would be maybe a low rate movie. I was completely wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong. It was such a great, well thought out plot. It was very methodical. There was a beginning, a middle, an end, and a backstory, and it was easy to follow, and you were really wanting to know what happened next. I was completely glued to the screen. I was ignoring him most of the time because it was
That's
just
nothing
that
new.
good. Whatever. That is not true. But it was just that good. And I don't know who wrote it. I don't think I even cared to read who wrote it. Whoever it was, he did a great job, and he knows how to write a story where it's cohesive and entertaining. What do you
So,
think?
what you're trying to say is the plot was consistent, didn't have any skips or gaps in it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I would
What do
agree
you
with
think of the
that.
plot?
I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
Cool.
Um, it takes place in modern time, and being this kind of scientific advancement, it was pretty interesting. It kept me glued to the screen as well, and I also wanted to see how things developed.
So we're gonna move on to the acting, and we're gonna move on to the actors and acting. I'm gonna start with Ryan Reynolds. I am a fan of Ryan Reynolds in serious roles. He's gotten a lot of flack for not being able to act well when it came to like the Green Lantern and other films. But if you saw movies like Definitely Maybe and some of his other serious roles, he can act. He just needs the right material. And he did a great job of taking on Ben Kingsley's character's persona. And if you watch the movie, you'll understand what that means. And I believe that he was literally two people, which is really hard to pull off. Ben Kingsley has a very
So let me talk a little bit about Ryan Reynolds. And in this movie, Ryan Reynolds plays two parts. The first part is where he was a Marine in the war and was given a chance to save his daughter who was dying of cancer. And to do that, he had to give up his life. Um, the second part that he played was the part that Ben Kingsley was, which was an older man dying of cancer. And while he was playing the part of Ben Kingsley, um, the character that Ben Kingsley played was the single man. He had an older grown-up daughter. However, the original part that Ryan Reynolds was covering was as a father who was just recently married, younger child, and while the movie was playing, you could see the disconnect of being that father from the part that Ben Kingsley was playing, the old man. Um, Very convincing. It took me a minute. I'm not generally a Ryan Reynolds fan, but it took me a minute.
now he
And
is.
to watch the part that he played was actually pretty good, pretty convincing.
That's
Let's put it
saying a
that way.
lot. Coming from him, that's saying a lot.
I guess.
So, you didn't like him at all before. Now you're giving him kudos. Okay.
For his acting, yes. In this one, yeah, I could believe that he played the part of a
Yay. That was the
disconnected
whole point.
father.
That was the whole point.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So, as for Ben
Ben Kingsley.
Kingsley, he had a very small part in this role, but his character was very well developed in the short period of time he was on screen, which only he can do. Um, Literally, he was there for less than 20 minutes, and then we never see him again. And but he all that small time he spent on screen, we knew his mannerisms, we knew his personality, his wants, his needs, his business personality, how he got wealthy, his
Hmm.
methodical way of thinking. All of that was captured in 15 minutes, and I don't think anyone else could have played that role like that. Um,
Hence the reason he is the caliber of actor he is.
True story. So, as for the other actors, I have one sour note, and that was the Ryan Reynolds' wife, the Marine side wife. Her voice was the most annoying voice I have ever heard on screen. I mean,
I didn't think so, but
of course she didn't. She was a woman.
well,
Anyway, so she did not come off as a mother and a wife. She
but she
came
did to
off
me.
as a screaming, shrieking bimbo who was just so confused. What's going on? And it just was not believable. I would prefer a lower tone woman. Talk to me. What's going on? How can I help you? Instead of this screeching woman. And I just like, just stay stay the Ben Kingsley character and let her just raise this daughter by herself because she's annoying. That might sound harsh, but I have an ear for tone, and it was not good. So that's just my opinion on her voice. It was not okay. The acting was okay. Her voice was horrible.
I,
Next,
I didn't mind it
why
because
would you?
there are parts that she was saying and doing that came across as a concerned mother, and losing your spouse, and all of a sudden he's back months later. That doesn't throw you off?
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
Not that doesn't explain the tonation of her voice. That's just a
Okay.
petty thing. That's maybe just my petty thing, but it's worth noting.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the cinematography. Before I leave actors, Michael Good, he played the doctor who started this procedure,
Evil Doctor.
Evil Doctor. He's an amazingly talented actor who takes on very few roles, and I can see why. He likes movies that send a message, and he picked a good script for that. And he did a very good job.
Hmm.
So I really liked his acting. Now we're going to move on to the
By the way, in this movie, the evil doctor plays the part as a
Matthew.
younger man, but with the mentality of an old man
Hmm.
who's been married for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, it's Matthew Good, not Michael. Sorry.
And yeah, his part was believable. I could see where it was taking place. I could follow along with it. Whoever wrote the script to this did a really good job.
As I mentioned. Okay, now we're doing the cinematography. This was not a cinematography type film. There wasn't a lot of blowing up, there wasn't a lot of super action, but there was story driven action, which played well with the visuals of the soul swapping machine, which played with the visual of the flashbacks, were done so well. The
Yeah.
flashback scenes, they were so disjointed. It was like a dream you were watching. It was beautiful. I don't know who thought of that. They did an amazing job. I'm going sorry. Um, so that was something really good. I really enjoyed that part of the cinematography. So,
Yep, I would agree. I have nothing to say about it
yay.
other than you can follow along with the storyline, you can follow along with the plot, you can follow along,
Hmm.
and
Something that we're
that's
lacking
sometimes rare.
in
Yeah,
a lot of movies that we end up
yeah,
seeing.
yeah.
So, all right, now to recommendations. One guess, absolutely. It was great. I'm gonna go see it again probably on the big screen because it was just that good. It was, and I'm gonna buy it definitely for sure. It was just really good. A rare find. I'm just gonna get right up here
Okay,
towards you. Okay.
okay.
You keep pushing. I can see your hand. Okay. It was a rare find, and I'm so glad that I picked it. That we actually saw it,
Yep.
and it was good. Your turn.
Um, Certainly I would recommend it. And if you're into the science fiction, hey, you can live on forever, hey, go for it. Go see it. And would I recommend it for the big screen? See it in the matinee if you want to see a big screen. That would be best. As you can tell, I've been talking about all kinds of ticket prices and how expensive it is.
Yes, he has.
Yes,
He
yes,
has to pay.
and I'm getting tired of that. I'm getting very
I
tired
bought
of
my own.
that.
I paid for this ticket, so whatever.
No,
Anyway,
I paid for mine.
for Selfless, I bought my own ticket.
That's
So.
what I mean. I paid for mine. It's getting too expensive.
This is true. I know what we're gonna do about it.
Well, anyway, that's a message to you theater owners out there. You know what? Time to drop the prices.
That's
Remember,
true.
we're talking about families that need some entertainment, and you're going
Well,
to kill the
Minions was
family
horrible.
budget. Yes, Minions was horrible, but we're
And
not
stop
talking about
making movies like
Minions.
that.
Recommend it? Sure. Absolutely. Go see it.
Okay, I'm Pam.
I'm Barry.
And this was our review. Thanks.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.